This $10,000 investment makes me over $400 a month passively. It's making me money while I sleep with literally near zero work or management required on my end. And I expect this same investment to make me close to $4,000 a month in the next 2 years due to upcoming catalysts that I think could potentially push it much, much higher. In this video, I'm gonna share what this investment is, how it works, and how much I've made so far, what I believe the future holds for this strategy, and why I think my $10,000 will one day be worth over $100,000 or more, as well as talk about a couple other strategies I'm currently using to make passive income and how well they're working for me. Over the past year, I've been on a quest for the ultimate passive income strategy. I have tested countless different ideas, bought all kinds of research tools and finance newsletters, and in general spent a ridiculous amount of time learning and growing my abilities. I have a goal of making $50 million, and I have never made $50 million. Up until recently, I had never made anywhere close to $1 million. And I know I'm just not gonna get there without taking extraordinary measures to grow my abilities, knowledge, and skill sets. I've tested things like my Ghost Tiger bot strategy, an AI that invests for you, all kinds of yield farming strategies, crypto options, decentralized perpetuals, stablecoin strategies, and more. And I've had some major wins in there. But I would say by far the vast majority of the things I've tested have ended up failing, which of course makes sense. I would not expect most ideas to just work. If that was the case, then everyone would be just rolling in money every time they try to invest in something. But among the rubble of strategies that have absolutely failed for me, I have a new strategy that has proven to be quite lucrative, completely passive, and according to my research has a ton of future potential. It's a project that I actually talked about a long time ago, but due to some issues I saw with the tokenomics, I ended up abandoning. But since then, those issues have been fixed. The market has completely reset, and I once again see potentially a lot of opportunity with this idea. And testing it for a month, I've been blown away by the results that I'm able to get even during the bear market. And before I reveal this idea, I've also been testing 3 other strategies for passive income that have proven to be extremely promising. One centers around the crypto influence economy and governance. One's using Convex to get bribes, which I'll explain what that means later in the video, but it's insane. And one is a crypto vault strategy. A little bit later in this video, I'll be sharing those 3 as well, and arguably, like I said, they're just as compelling as this first strategy. The strategy I'm talking about is PancakeSwap's auto cake strategy. It is a strategy that many of us were familiar with during the bull run, but likely most people haven't paid attention to since. At the height of the bull run, this strategy was insane lucrative for a season, before everyone figured it out and then the opportunity kind of went away. I as well used this strategy for a little bit, but eventually abandoned it after the yield went way down and the price of cake skyrocketed and went over $40. Couple that with the fact that at the time they could technically print unlimited tokens. The token was super inflationary because of all the auto cake rewards that were being paid out to people, and it had almost no mechanisms to reduce sell pressure in the event of a panic. To me, that all added up to extremely high risk and pushed me into eventually selling my cake for a profit and moving on. Since then, the token has fallen from $40 to just $3, and most people aren't paying attention to what's going on. But in fact, a lot of changes have happened since then over at PancakeSwap. For one, and this isn't really a change, but the actual platform PancakeSwap still sees an incredible amount of activity and active users. And that's because it's a really great product. It's easily one of the best dexes on the market to use from like a user standpoint. It has perpetuals, an NFT marketplace, a predictions market, a lottery, a launchpad, and more. And unlike similar platforms, the Cake token is actually heavily tied into all of these things. Just about every action that a user takes on the PancakeSwap platform results in cake being burnt. And if you don't know what that means, it just means it reduces the overall supply of cake, making cake scarcer and offsetting inflation. It's a mechanic that means holders of cake benefit heavily and directly from the growth and use of the PancakeSwap platform, which, by the way, has had 1.5 million active users in the last 30 days alone and $144 billion in trading volume during the bear market in 2022 alone. So the token has plummeted in value, but the actual product or platform behind it is actually doing great. On top of that, there's recently been some major changes in the tokenomics of Cake that have me extremely interested in it. The first major change is they put a hard cap on the amount of Cake tokens there could ever be. The hard cap is 750 million, meaning there can never be more than 750 million Cake tokens in existence. Previously, it was unlimited, so this is a positive change in my opinion. They've also radically reduced inflation. At its height, the Cake token inflated by 40 Cake per block. Today, it's just 9.9 per block. They've also started expanding to other networks, including Ethereum and Aptos. I personally think both network choices were kind of poor choices in my opinion. I think it would have made more sense for them to expand over to Polygon or maybe Optimism or Arbitrum. Still, the fact that they're expanding to other networks is bullish and worth note. They've also introduced new locking mechanisms to control the Cake supply and provide more utility. And on top of all those things, they've also added Pottery, a Cake locking lottery, sort of like pooled together, Stable Swap, which is kind of like a curve offering with lower slippage on stablecoin swaps, Smart Router, which just means better pricing and swaps for traders, and lastly, as mentioned earlier, perpetual trading similar to GMX. Keep in mind that when the token eclipsed $40, they had none of these things. Today at $3, it's far more bullish, and I personally see a massive amount of opportunity, which is why I decided to put $10,295 into AutoCake and lock it for an entire year. My bet is that PancakeSwap as a platform will continue to grow. They're one of the most user-friendly platforms in the DeFi space currently, and I believe that they're a pretty smart team that's going to continue to make smart moves over the coming years. So far, I've had my Cake staked for 1 month and have made $485 in Cake rewards, and my $10,295 is today, 1 month later, worth $11,422 including rewards, for a total made of $1,147 in a single month, or about 11%. Do I think Cake is gonna go up only? No, of course not. I think it's gonna ebb and flow over the next couple of years, but ultimately my bet is that the price of Cake will be much higher 2 to 3 years from now. All that being said, what about the other 3 investments I mentioned earlier? First up is Redacted Cartel. Redacted Cartel is very similar in some ways to Convex. That is, it's a meta governance token. Its use cases center around DAO governance votes and incentives, otherwise known as bribes. Bribes obviously come with a negative connotation, and people hear that and they're like, oh, bribes, what is that? But in essence, these are just incentives for token holders to vote a certain way when it comes to liquidity or other proposals by the DAO. There is this entire governance economy that exists in crypto that a lot of people really don't pay attention to. And in this economy, millions are exchanged to get access to liquidity and other vital infrastructure resources projects need. Redacted at its core is building out products for that specific space alongside Convex, Aurora, Sphere, etc. Butterfly is the token for Redacted, and it's their own governance token. It allows holders to get Butterfly emissions as well as a share of the various revenues produced by the protocol and its suite of products. I deposited $1,000 a month ago into Redacted, staking my Butterfly tokens and locking them for 4 months. And after my first month of staking, my tokens are now worth $2,204, and I've earned $43.48 in rewards, or 120% in a single month. In my opinion, Redacted is still insane small, sitting at just a $29 million market cap, and I believe given time, next bull run, it'll grow by leaps and bounds. After Redacted is Beefy. Beefy is a pure strategy, so it's not like me betting on a specific project or me betting on a specific protocol, but it's a strategy I've been using to earn passive income. Beefy rated this strategy a 10 out of 10 on the safety score, and I decided to stick $1,008 into this strategy and test it out. Month 1, it did amazing, making 22% in a single month. However, since then, this strategy has turned out to be more of a dud. Recently, month 3, my total profit was sitting at $215, which puts it at 6% a month over a 3-month period, which sounds incredible, but it's basically just tracking with the price of ETH. Total made actually by the strategy is about $9. I'm gonna be sunsetting this experiment, moving my funds elsewhere moving forward, which leads us to the last strategy, my Convex strategy. And spoiler alert, this one has been killing it. Convex is another meta governance platform, and it's pretty well known in the space. place. It's basically an optimizer built on top of another crypto protocol called Curve. Curve is basically the liquidity heart of DeFi. I decided to lock $7,905 into Convex for 16 weeks. My goal was to benefit from Convex rewards, but even more importantly on top of that, to benefit from the bribes that come on Vodium. These are the same kind of bribes that I talked about earlier. They're incentives paid out by protocols to get you to vote for whatever they want. The cool part about these bribes is it means I earn rewards in a bunch of different tokens from a bunch of different projects. And after 1 month of locking, here's how things looked. My total value of my Convex went from $7,905 to $9,642 due to appreciation of the token. On top of that, I earned $42 in Convex rewards from the Convex platform. On top of that, I earned $302 in rewards from Vodium, or about 4.5% in a single month from rewards. Total from appreciation and rewards made is $2,081, or about 22% in a single month. Overall, all of these strategies ended up being profitable, with Cake, Redacted, and Convex showing some incredible initial results. That being said, it has been an incredible couple weeks for crypto at the time of this recording. And of course, I acknowledge that heavily plays into these results. I do believe though, with all three strategies, I'll continue to see long-term success. They all three have great fundamentals and I believe are primed for growth going into the next bull run. And real quick, if you saw my recent video where I talked about spending $10,000 on research and newsletters, I actually use all of that research to put together my own monthly research that goes out to my Patreon subscribers once a month. On top of that, I also put out a monthly airdrop guide on the top airdrops I'm looking at trying to get. There's actually way more than just those two things. If you're interested in learning more, there's a link in the description of this video. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and you gotta hit the little bell next to it if you want to be notified each time I release a video. As always, none of this is investment advice. None of this is me trying to tell you that you should invest in any of these projects. Blindly copying investments on YouTube without doing your own research is probably the worst way possible to invest and will likely result in you losing a lot of money. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next week.